Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Are you ready?
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
It's awesome!
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
Welcome to the fucking show.
Welcome one and all to another episode of Magnificent. Today I got Dominique Spica. Dom, what is happening?
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I start off on like the Q&A and everything, happy International Women's Day.
Ooh, thank you very much. You know, some days I feel like the world, well, actually, like every day, I feel like without women, the world can't function. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I figured I'd wear a little purple today, in honor of it. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, the fact that, of course, are a female that is like just trending in just an unstoppable bullet on social media, and I was like, you know what? Today is a good day because it's International Women's Day. I got you on here. I'm like, it's going to be a good episode. I could definitely feel it.
Oh, I promise you it's going to be. I got my lion stuff on.
Yes,
I'm being
I see
comfy
that.
right now. I
Of
took a
course.
big nap before coming on because I was like, look, I need to be energized as much as I can for him.
Which is hilarious because a few hours ago I took a nap myself.
Telling you, I used to hate naps. I used to. But then I am now working a job where I start work at like 3 a.m.
Ooh.
So I need those naps. Like
Yeah.
that's what makes me like be able to stay up until like 10 o'clock because if I don't nap, I'm out by like 7 o'clock. And I was
Yeah,
like, I cannot be asleep for this.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I mean, with me, I go to work, and it's like 6:30, but I'm not a morning person at all. I mean, I'm a night owl and just absolutely love to be, up and just doing whatever and just letting my body tell me, okay, it's time to go to sleep now. But taking those naps, and another thing is like, if I get comfy, like it doesn't matter if it's in a recliner, a couch, even a bed, like once my body gets comfortable, I'm out. I'm absolutely
Same.
out.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like I got home and I was like, I'm gonna go to the gym. And then I was like, wait, it's raining. I heard the rain. And then I put my pajamas on and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna take a nap. And then I like woke up like an hour ago, did my hair, and I was like, okay, like yeah, no, like I need to be like awake. So I literally had my pajamas on. Like I put the shirt on, but I still have my pajamas on.
Atta girl, way to be comfy.
I was like, nope, I'm not changing my pants.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of the same way where like I had a half day today and I just was planning on doing X amount of stuff, and then I just kind of got my sweatpants and my sweatshirt and just started watching like biographies, and then was waiting for my buddy to like just text me when he was done with work so we could go to the gym.
Yeah.
And so we were trying
I
to
take
figure
it that
that
didn't
out.
happen.
No, we're going to do it tomorrow morning.
Slacker. No, I'm kidding. I didn't even go to the gym today. I was like, no. Like the rain was like, nope, not happening. I got home and I was like, crap.
I know, and it's like I don't know what it is about the weather. It's the fact that when it's cloudy and it's rainy, you just want to get curled up in a ball and just be a cat for a day.
No, seriously. Or like make like some chili or soup. Like I don't know,
Ooh.
like that's just like when it's a rainy day, like I don't like the rain, so like the minute it like touches my hair, I feel like gross. So then I have to like take a shower. And then I was like, hold on, if I go to the gym and then I have to take a shower and then I gotta go on a podcast, I was like, nope, today's my lazy day.
I get it. Well, you're gonna get back at it tomorrow then?
Oh yeah. I have my
Nice.
kickboxing, yep. I usually work
Really?
out about like 5 to 6 days a week. I used to do it every day, and then I realized like my workouts weren't as effective anymore, just because I was always tired and I was always sore, and I was like, I cannot keep doing this. So I've learned how to take a rest day, and I was like, I'm gonna cherish those rest days because every other
Mm.
day I will demolish my body.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, and one thing that I've learned, whether if it was like weightlifting in high school or even, as you get older, I'm still a young buck, but I can still hear cracks when I get up in the morning. So,
Oh, I woke up this morning and I like stretched and the biggest Charlie horse like came on and I was like, "Oh my God, I really thought I was like gonna die." I was like
yeah.
holding my leg trying not to scream, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning at this point. I'm like, like at this point. And like I don't know what it is, but it just has not gone away. Like I still feel it and I was like, dang it. So
Like you took your knuckle to it and just
yeah,
dug
every
in
day,
there.
yeah. But yesterday was leg day,
Wow.
so I think it has something to do with that.
I think that has to do with it, in all
Mm-hmm.
honesty. Whereas, like, I was doing chest day and I'm doing dumbbell, bench,
Yeah.
and I leaned back and I got like 65 pounds in both hands and I'm just cranking them out. And all of a sudden I feel this Charlie horse in my hip.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, this is
oh.
uncomfortable. I'm like, this is not good. This is not good. I got weight that could kill me. And
Were you with
yes,
someone? Did you have a spotter?
yeah, but he wasn't doing
Oh,
much work.
boy, then you need a new spotter. I would have been looked at him. I would have probably been screaming. And then if they weren't paying attention, I'd been like, no, you fired, not today. I'm like, I
Well,
almost died.
yeah, I mean, I just cranked it out and I was just like, I need to get off this bench and just stretch out my hip. I'm like, this is killing me.
Oh yeah, no, they're the absolute worst. And I haven't had one in a long time, so that one like just took me by surprise. Imagine just like waking up, I'm just like my eyes aren't even fully open. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, so back to the rain thing. I mean, I
yeah.
immediately thought when you said like as soon as the rain touches your hair, like you automatically feel gross.
Hmm.
So pretty much you kissing a guy in the rain like the movies is not happening.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I guess like after leaving work, just because I work in like the hospital and like I'm already kind of feel gross, and then like on top of that the rain, then yeah, like it's just like an extra grossness. But like I don't know. I guess I would kiss a boy in the rain.
Feel a little cinematic,
Yeah, that would be cute. I'm
right?
down.
And then
I'm
there's
down.
lightning and thunder, and you're like, all right, it's over, buddy.
Oh, peace out. Peace out. I'm done. Hi. Hi. Do
Oh,
you
who
want to?
is that?
This is my cat. This is Ella. She likes to
Ella.
make an appearance.
My cat does too, which I'm
Dude,
waiting
why
for
do you
her
look
to
so
come on.
scary? No, 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 no. As she goes over my computer. I
Mine does
really,
the Mine does the exact same
no,
thing.
like my mouse is on the leave button, like, and that's why I was like, no, no, no.
Oh, that would have been bad.
That's why I'm like, oh my God. So, okay, I moved that in case she decides to make a return. But you have
All
cats
right.
as well?
Yeah, I got one cat.
Oh,
Her name is Harley Davidson, and
oh.
usually whenever there's people and
Yes.
we're doing the podcast on the kitchen table, or even if there's just a normal conversation at the kitchen table, she likes to be center of attention.
Yep.
Rubbing up on the mics, and
Yep.
I mean, what I got a clip of her, just kind of staring at herself in the camera. So that was
Mm-hmm.
entertaining. But for the most part, she kind of just leaves me alone for the most part until like she wants cuddle time, and I'm just
That's
laying on the
Ella.
couch and
Yep.
stuff.
I have another cat. His name is Teddy, and he's like a big fluff ball. He loves to cuddle, but Ella does not like to cuddle at all. She's
Mm,
like, leave me alone. If I'll come to you, I'll come to you, but like, don't touch me. That's why that
yeah,
look that she gave, I was like, oh, dang, she's mad.
yeah. See, I don't care if Harley doesn't want to cuddle me. Like, I'll give her smooches and I'll just squeeze her real tight, and then she'll squirm and she'll be like, I don't want to be touched.
Yeah, pretty much. I just
So,
wish I had time for a dog. Like, I would totally get a dog, but like,
I
cats are
know,
just so easy because I can just come and go as I want. And like, no,
right?
like, I feed them, change the litter box, and then I'm done. And I'm like, oh, so much easier than a dog.
Exactly. And then take them for a vet or like, do your cats like their nails getting clipped?
No.
Yeah, mine doesn't
Ella,
either.
no. And I just figured that out because I took Ella to the vet. What was it? Maybe like a month ago to get her nails done. Because I would cut them myself. Like I used
Right.
to like work when I was younger, like in a veterinarian office. So I know how to cut nails. But I am very much afraid to cut her nails. Like she is mean. Like she loves me, but when those like when she sees the clippers, I swear to God, I think Satan comes out. I'm like, yep, this is Satan right now. So I took
Hunchback and everything.
Oh, she'll bite everything. So I took her to the vet because they've cut her nails a couple of times and they were good with it. But the last time they're like, hey, like they did it in like the nicest way possible. When you call and get her, like want to bring her for her nails, can you just like call us ahead of time and we can give her some medication? I was like, crap. She's mean. I was like, she's mean. Like, no.
Yeah, that
I
was
was
my
hoping
first
it
visit.
wouldn't.
Yeah, that was my first visit with her, and they gave me drugs to pump into her, and she ate I just grab her face and I just shoot it in her mouth real quick. She spits it
Oh,
up,
yeah. Oh, yep.
but it gets her, it gets her nice and mellow for sure. And I mean, what was nuts was this past vet visit.
Hmm.
She did probably the best she's ever done. I mean, they did all 4 paws, and they're like, "Okay, we're all done." I'm like, "Really? That's it?" She goes, "Oh yeah," and she also likes getting her head scratched while getting them done. I'm like,
I would have been
"Okay,
like, whose cat
noted."
is that?
Literally, that's kind of like I literally told the nurse, I like, she goes, "Oh, okay, all done." I go, all four paws." She goes, "Yeah." I go, "No shit." I was like, "No shit," and she's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay, awesome."
Hey, you know what? Take it and go. Just be like, okay, thank you, bye. Because you're like inside, you're like, that's not really my cat, but
I mean, I made sure I had the tag on her, so the only purpose to swap the cats is to swap the tags as well. But
that is true.
so who knows? So first things first,
Yeah.
you are a huge Detroit Lions fan, of course, as the sweatshirt shows. Um, how long have you been a Lions fan?
Oh, like pretty much my whole life. I grew up, I grew up with my brother and my dad watching it every single Sunday, listening to it on the radio. So I've always been like a really, really big Lions fan. When I was younger, I cheered so I was a cheerleader for 15 years. So between, elementary school, junior high, high school, and then my brother was on the football team as well. So like for me, I've always had a life kind of centered around football. But it wasn't until what, like maybe 2, 3 years ago, I was watching like the Super Bowl with my friends and like I was telling them about it. I was like, hey guys, like, look, you have like the quarterback, you have this like the center, you have the defensive tackle, and like I was naming off all these players, and they're like, damn, you know your football. And I was like, yeah. And like it happened to be like the perfect time that we kind of like hit COVID. And I was like, and I told myself like I would never go on TikTok. But then I decided to start making TikToks and talking about sports. And then people were like, oh, this girl knows sports. And I was like, well, I love Detroit Lions football. And I just decided to kind of take that and just start posting about it. And then it just kind of went from there.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
And I can definitely say, as a guy who played 12 years of football, my own mother has trouble with,
Hmm.
certain calls and certain, positions and stuff like that. I'm like,
Hmm.
Mom, you watched me and my brothers play football for 12 years. I said, how do you not know this?
It's a
I'm like,
complicated game. Like, don't get me wrong, it's very complicated because you can run so many different plays, like 3 different times, and it's the exact same play, just it's done differently every single time.
I mean, I get that, but I mean, you can
Are you talking
tell
about like
whether,
player? Oh, which one's like the
oh, just,
quarterback, the running back, the wide
but also,
receiver?
but also like offensive holding,
Oh, yes.
pass interference,
Hmm.
just stuff like
Well,
that.
I will give you this. PI is kind of difficult now in the NFL, only because of how they're ranging it. Like you can't go above here, but you can't go below here. Like there's so many like even like when it comes to like hit like when they're getting hit. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, so what exactly is like a PI now? Like what would you consider that? Or what would you consider a complete pass without like it
Yeah.
being a PI? you
I mean,
know?
I would say like they have to insert contact right off the snap of the ball, and then
Yeah.
once they're 5 to 10 yards, like they got
Hmm.
to be hands off, and
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, within a certain,
Hmm.
whether
But
the
the
ref
amount
can
of
see it or
missed
not.
calls that we've had this past season,
I
not even with the
agree,
Lions, like the overall, the NFL, the amount of like missed calls or bad calls have been horrendous, like the worst that I've seen in a long time. That's
and
why I'm like,
that's
what exactly are
yeah,
they looking for? Because I
yeah.
clearly I'm missing it. I can be like, oh, PI, and then they're like, it's an incomplete. I was like, where's the PI? Like what? Like no. So it's just like it's kind of like interesting to see like what they're considering like a PI and like what they aren't.
Yeah, and that's what is the great drama night. I can't even say it. Anyway, that's what makes it fun to watch is the fact
Hmm.
that it's very it's unpredictable. And
Yes.
of course
Yep.
while you're yelling at the refs and everything, like because you just you want your team to win or and
Yeah.
everything, and when that stuff happens or a bad call happens, like you just get amped up and it just shows more pride for your team. But I mean, that's what makes it entertaining. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it
absolutely.
is those types of instances, and
To a point until you start to realize that maybe the refs really just don't want your team to win.
maybe they
Which in
got
some
people in fantasy. Who knows?
hey, you know what? One thing I've learned that people have friends that have money, and sometimes you got to help those friends.
I've heard that too on many mob movies for sure.
Hey, you know what? It might have gone into the NFL too. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I get what you're saying. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But and then of course, with you being on TikTok and
Yeah.
everything, like how fast of a rise did you get? Uh,
So it wasn't like super, super fast. Like I definitely had to, I wouldn't necessarily say I have to prove myself, but I definitely had to like put it out there that like I knew my football because in the beginning of when I started talking about it, the first literally the first comments I would get right off the bat. She's just trying to get with a player. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's a woman. Like, they don't watch football, just like those typical, like, because I'm a woman, like, quick to judge comments. And, like, at first they did kind of get to me because I was like, oh, like, I don't want to be seen like that. But now I'm like, I don't give a crap. I'm like, please come at me. Please, I'm begging you. Please come at me. Like,
I love
so
it.
no.
I absolutely love it.
So it definitely like helped me too with like confidence wise and like just building that up because I literally hated talking in front of the camera. I was like, no, like I can't do this. Like this is like so weird. But now I'm like, okay, something like comes up. I'm like, here we go. Where's my phone? Like we're gonna do this.
I love it.
So, but it was like kind of like a slow thing, and then over this like past season it's definitely grown a lot more um just because of the fact that like I have been like become like a lot more confident with like my ability to be in front of the camera trying to come up with like new content to talk about and with the Lions actually like one of the best seasons that they've had in such a long time that actually like it helped a lot too because they wanted to hear what we want like people were saying about the Lions and like also a lot of people who didn't think the Lions could do it you got the haters that are coming and when the haters come, they bring it, I'm telling you. And then you just want to keep posting more. You're like, come on, Like I have receipts of people from last season that were like, the Lions ain't gonna make it far. And I was like, okay, here we go. And then guess what? We made it to the NFC Championship. I was like, how far did we go? How far did we go
Be like, I got
now?
to
Yeah,
hold on, I got a little,
yeah.
Q-tip in here. Hold on, what'd you
Pretty
say? I can't
One
hear
thing
you.
I've learned in
What?
life is keep the receipts. I'm telling you, keep the receipts because one day you're gonna look back and you're gonna need them.
Yeah,
And that's what I do with everyone. I'm like, if I see something that's like somewhat of a comment that I'm like, they're about to get proved wrong, I keep it. And then, a
nice.
couple months down the road, I'm like, here we go. How did this work out for you?
Yeah. I can definitely say like that was going to be my next question is like how do you handle the haters?
I ignore them, honestly.
Yeah.
There's no point because they're just going to keep coming. And I've learned too that like a lot of the haters that have a lot to say are the ones that are just jealous. And like my intentions are never to make somebody jealous or feel like I'm living like there's a new thing going on right now. Like people think that like I have all this money because I get to do everything, and like that's not the case at all. Like I've worked very, very hard to like be where I'm at. And like in order to get opportunities like that, I had to work hard. I'm not like stuff like that's just not given to you. You have to like show and prove that like, okay, like if you're going to talk about sports, like of course we want to bring you along, because people are going
Mm,
to want to listen to you. So everyone's like, oh, like you're bragging about how much stuff you do. I was like, that's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just showing you like if you want to do something like this and like you have like the time, or actually I don't even know how I have the time. Like I'm working all the time, and then after work I'm like go to the gym and I'm like, how am I going to make content? So it's kind of like I think I might lose a little bit of sleep, but no, honestly, like for me it's just, you just gotta let them go and ignore it, because
yeah.
I truly do love sports, and more than anything I love football, and I'm not going to let somebody's comment judge and say who I am. I'm like, I know who I am, and you know what, if you want to keep hating, go ahead, but I'm not going to listen, because there are people out there that do want to listen to what I have to say and they enjoy it. So I think of those people more than I ever think about the haters, because they're not worth it.
I absolutely love that answer. That was such a great answer.
Thank
Be,
you.
be,
No, it
be,
took me a long time. I will be
yeah.
honest. In the beginning, like seeing those mean comments, I was like, I don't want that. Like, oh my God, like, like trying to, I thought I had to be a people pleaser, but not
Mm,
anymore. I'm like, no, because you're never gonna please everyone. Even though you thought, even like some of your closest friends who you thought like were good close friends to you, and then all of a sudden you start like getting all these opportunities, and then you start to see a side of them that you're like, maybe you weren't like such a good person after all. Because in my life, like I want all my friends to succeed. Like if my friends are succeeding at something, I'm like, go for it. Like I am like all for it. Because, like I love seeing other people succeed, not just me, but like everyone else around me. Because that's what you want in life. You want to grow. You want to make something out of yourself. So I focus on those people who want the same for me, and I don't focus on the ones that just, have something to say about it every single time. And if it's negative, I'm like, nope, just block it out.
that's wow. You're like blowing me away right now. Like this is like great. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, like you're like I'm almost like speechless here. But I mean, along with the haters, of course you get
Hmm.
the guys that are like, oh my gosh, you know so much about football, like
Yeah.
can I marry you? Like, oh my god, like I'm sure you get a bunch of those, right?
I do, yes. I think it's because of the fact that, not saying that a lot of women like sports, because I've met so many great women who are some of the best people in my entire life now, but there is a big majority of women that could care less about it. So I think when a guy like sees that a girl's like really interested, and they can name stuff that you think that like, oh wow, wait, that, and especially with being in such a male dominant field, like that's just for guys, that's like a big turn on. And so yes, I have gotten many requests of being like, will you marry me? And I'm like, no, there's a lot more to like who I'm gonna date. Just because you like sports, you can be the biggest sports fan but the absolute meanest person and with an ugly heart, and I'm not doing that. Like
That's
no,
good.
there's more to it than that.
Like, have you gotten any like odd like comments on your TikTok or your Instagram at all that you're just kind of like,
I have. Um, there was a point where I started kind of like turning off my comments on Instagram just because I didn't want to see what people had to say. I was like, look, like if you're gonna comment something like inappropriately, I'm just gonna end up deleting it. So I just kind of turned off comments, and then my friends were like, why would you do that? And I was like, because I just don't care what other people have to say. I'm like, if you like my posts, you like it, but you don't have to comment, oh, look at like how thick or how juicy, and I'm just like, I don't need to hear that. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like I thank you for trying to be nice about it, but I'm just not interested like that.
now have you ever like talked to or gone on a date with any of the guys that have commented on your stuff or tried to hit you up or anything like that?
On social media,
Yeah, like they're
um
following your content and everything like that.
no.
No, okay.
No, I've only really gone on dates with people who are either like friends of a friend or I meet in a more of a public area, I just feel like people online, not saying they aren't the greatest people in the world, but it's like a risk, and I rather, you know, just kind of take a little bit of like more of a safety caution. But
Of
no,
course, of course.
but who knows? I think I found someone, so.
Oh, really? Well, I don't know if we should talk about that or not. Is it
uh,
new? Is it new?
it's gonna be about what? About 2 months coming up. So
It's still
but
new.
it's still very new. Yes. Not many people know. But it's not because it's a secret. It's definitely not. Like the people who know. It's more so like for me, I really love the idea of just getting to know someone for who they are, like what they
Yeah.
like, um, who their family are, like their interests and stuff like that, and like having them get to kind of know the same thing about me. I think people put this like big thing on social media, like if they meet someone like, oh my God, I'm like no longer single, like party, like they just kind of like I want to say like show off, but like they're very excited to kind of post it at first. And for me, I'm not for that. I'm just like I want to get to know this person for who they are, and the
Mm,
people who know, and the people that I don't talk to, I don't really care that they don't know, because
mm-hmm.
to me, like this is like a very important part of my life.
Mm-hmm. And it's very personal too.
It is, no, for sure, and
And I
like,
feel. Go
and
ahead.
I feel
Go
like when
ahead.
it's no, when I feel like it's I don't like I've kind of I hear how people are like, why would you keep it a secret? I'm like, it's not a secret. If I don't talk to you on a daily basis or you're not important, I'm not saying not important in my life, but I don't necessarily like, you know your life. Like, why would I just go off and like tell you about mine when this is like something that's super, super like important to me?
Mm-hmm. And
And
also, like with your content, you
yeah, and I stick to that
it's
too,
very
like
public.
it's very public, and I keep it that way too, like especially just the sports stuff. Like if you go on my other social media platforms, people don't know where I work, and I do that on purpose. People don't know my dating life. I do that on purpose. Like I want people to just see what I'm there to talk about, and that's sports. Everything else is more of my personal life. And if I decide to put it out there, I will, but for right now, I'm like, no, no. And like I don't want everyone to know everything about me, because no, let's no. I rather them just see what they want to see. They follow me because of my sports and talking about the Lions or Tigers or Red Wings, not because of who I'm dating or where I'm working. Like if that was my content, then yeah, of course I would talk about it. But no, my
Mm-hmm.
content is sports related, and I really like having my my personal life, because then I've realized like people can't destroy your happiness, and they don't have much to say because if they don't know. So, and right now it's something that I'm really enjoying. So,
Well, good. I'm glad that that's happening. I'm really
thank
glad that that's really
you.
happening. I mean, of course, like you said, post and everything, and I mean, everybody wants to, document on social media,
Yeah.
you know, a lot, like
Oh,
what's going
everything.
on in their
Like
lives and
five.
stuff like that.
Yeah. I can't do that. Like I feel kind of bad doing that, especially when I'm with people who I know aren't big social media fans. Like not all my friends are big into social media. Not my family, yeah, they're super supportive, but they don't want to be on social media. So there's kind of like a fine line that I don't want to cross either. So they know how much I like to do it and they support it all the way, but I don't want them feeling like, oh, like feeling uncomfortable. Like I don't want to put people in that like position. And
Mm-hmm.
like if I know they're not big into the social media, they could care less. Like I've never been one. Like I've met bunch of athletes, professional football players, professional baseball players, and I've never ever been like, hey, will you make a TikTok with me? Like that's not who I am. And like I don't want them to feel like, oh, this girl's just here for like social media, TikTok. Like I'm actually like a really big fan, and it's like a pleasure to meet you. So I just try to stick to my content with just me. And I don't
Yeah.
want to put anyone else in there that they don't want to be. And I don't want anyone to feel like they have to be in a position that they don't want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
That's not who I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that's also very respectful, not only to people that are famous, but that aren't
Hmm.
famous. But I'm sure, like, do you ever like be like, hey, can we take a picture of it, like a picture
Yeah, yeah.
together?
I
I
have so
mean,
many pictures with like with athletes and stuff like that. I just for the video aspect, that's just, I feel like that's kind of like crossing, and not necessarily like, with some athletes they're perfectly fine with it, like they probably would be if I asked, but for me, like I think that's just a little bit of a crossing the line. Like even picture wise, I think is kind of, it's interesting when compared to a man to a female, like when I'm taking a picture with an athlete, or if my brother is, you know, like you can kind of feel like they're very much like very picky, like not picky, but like very careful on how they take a picture with you.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think that, yes, like I've noticed that like over the last like couple of years, I'm like, oh, you know, hand placement, like where they want me to stand, you know, and like a guy, they're like, hey, dude, like, what's up? And then I come around and they're like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm just here because I'm a big fan. I promise you that. Like, I'm not, oh my God, but I get what they're doing. You know, you have to be careful. Like,
And
they're,
very respectful as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm just like, I'll stick to what I like, I'll stick to what I post, you know, and I don't want to ever do that to someone. That's no. Mm-mm.
Right.
I just have too big of a heart, you know?
Right, absolutely. And to bounce off of that picture thing, have you ever seen the Keanu Reeves like pictures, or like I guess it's like a trend. I don't even know if it's a trend, but
Hmm.
it's more like constant photos of people that have taken pictures with Keanu Reeves and where his hand placement is.
Oh, every single time you have, yes. And
It's
I
like
get it, you know?
it's not
I
even on
know.
somebody's
I
shoulder. It's
know.
like out here.
Yeah. Like it'll be like right there.
Exactly,
And I
exactly.
get it, you know, you have to be in today's generation. You don't really have a choice. You know,
Mhm.
your hand can be in the wrong spot, or it looks like it is, and somebody can take that and they can take it to court, you know, just because they like, oh, I can get money from this. Like, people are very scary. Like, people are nasty and scary in today's generation. So I
Yeah.
get why they have to be that way, you know. It sucks, but it's just, you know, but it's interesting to kind of, when you're in that position and like kind of like feel it out and you see how people react around certain people, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever gotten the Keanu Reeves hand placement used on you?
Did I? No, I wouldn't, I don't think so, but I have felt like their arm, like if they're like, if I'm standing next to them, they're like, they put it up like very like not high above my back, but just like, you know, like instead of like
Shoulder
kind of,
blade.
yeah, kind of like that way, you know? And I'm just like, this is weird. Like, what are you doing?
I'm sure most of them are like way bigger than you.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Oh my God, yes. But no, I don't think I've ever had that happen to me. I would have to, I don't, yeah, no. Mm-mm. I would have remembered that because I probably would have been like, this is awkward.
if it ever happens to you in the future, I
Yeah.
definitely want to hear about it for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. No, and also too, it's with being like a big fan and stuff, like some of the players, they do bring their girlfriends to signings, so then I'm like, oh, this is even more awkward. Like, I don't want to, you know, like, I'm not saying like they know, they're like, oh, that's my man, but like for me, I'm like, I don't know how I would feel if my man was like taking pictures with like another girl. And like, but for me, like I said, I'm just like a big fan of the players, you know.
Right.
But it's just, it's interesting, you know, sometimes being a woman, like in sports, because you have to,
Yeah.
you think about things differently than guys. Like I said, the guys can just come up and like give them high fives, give them hugs, and then I have to come up and be like, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Now, do you do the handshake or do you
I do
go
a
for it?
handshake. Yeah, I do a
Oh,
handshake.
good. Very
I
professional. I like
I do
it.
a handshake. Yep. I have a very nice handshake. Every single
Yeah.
time I've ever done a handshake, they're like, "Ooh, that's a strong handshake."
Firm grip.
Yeah,
Who taught you that? Your dad or your brother or both?
both. Yeah. That makes a very good first impression is the handshake.
Doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. Web to web. Do you do the web to web? Like, do you always focus on, all right, web to web?
So I always like try to make sure like I really get my like thumb in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like when I come in, I kind of like swoop it in and like grab their arm, and they're like, "Oh, I was not expecting that coming from you." So it kind of gets the conversation going already because they're already kind of like blown away by it. They're like, "Oh, this girl's
Yeah.
strong."
Yeah. That's pretty good. I like that. So speaking of like meeting athletes,
Yeah.
I heard on another podcast
Yeah.
a story that I absolutely love of
Which
yours.
one?
that would have to be the Jameer Gibbs story.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. I absolutely love talking about this. This was one of the coolest experiences I've ever got to go through, especially like last season with everything, with the Lions being with the one of the greatest teams that we've seen in the last like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that one was really, really fun because he's such like a humble, like down to earth person. I got to go have a car ride. I had no idea. Like a lot of people think like I knew that he was going to come to my house. I had no idea he was coming to my house. I knew like what was going on because with NBC, like they reached out, like that was all planned of them being like, hey, we're going to show up. Like we need you to be ready and stuff. And like, I really thought it was just going to be an interview. That's what they wanted. They're like, hey, like, we're coming in from LA. This is the day you need to be home, and we're going to interview you because we want to do a segment with about the Lions. And I was like, oh my God, like this is so cool, like once in a lifetime opportunity. And then they came in, they mic'd me up. They're like, we have to do some outside clips. Just close the door, and then when we ring the doorbell, just open it up. And I was like, oh, okay, that's simple. So I'm like waiting and I'm waiting and I'm like, what's taking them so long? And I'm just like walking around my house, like, kind of nervous because I'm like, oh my God, like what questions are they going to ask? And then finally the doorbell rings and I like open up the door and I look and I'm like, oh my God. I'm kind of glad I think they cut out the first part because I think I swore I was like, what the are you doing here? And they're all laughing. So my reaction is literally like the most like realistic reaction. Like I had no idea. And then you can tell like this was like we were talking to like that was like his first time of like really doing something big on TV because these players come in, they just want to play football. So they're not even used to doing that. But he was so kind, he was so funny, and he was like really down to earth. So it was really nice talking about him with things, coming from Alabama now like to Michigan, like the adjustment in weather, coming from hot to cold, and just like learning like other things too, because not all the time do they want to talk about football, like just like about like other things in life.
Now, did you talk to him a little bit about football?
We did, yeah, no, for sure. We wanted to know what it was like working under like Dan Campbell, and he loved it, him being like Dan is like a very like hardcore coach, like he'll literally probably like rip your eyes out or something like that.
Absolutely.
But he's a coach that wants the best for the team, and he loves working underneath him. And like we also asked him like how did it feel like seeing the reaction of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell for the NFL draft when they got you? And he was even talking about that, like the emotions behind it and stuff, and like how cool it was to see it. And I was like, that would be pretty cool, seeing the coach's reaction, the general manager, like literally like jumping up and down, like, yeah, boy, like, so it was cool. And then he's also a big gamer. So we talked about some gaming for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like what? I think we were like with him it was like me and a couple other people, for like what, maybe 4 or 5 hours. Cause that like all that whatever 45-second commercial took like almost 4 to 5 hours to get done. Like the amount of times we had to like walk in and out of Applebee's, I was like, oh dear God. And like then they would bring the food out because they wanted us to sit like certain ways, and then they would bring the food out and they'd be like, no, we don't like how that looks, and bring it back. And we're all like, guys, we're hungry. And like you could like see our eyes going like, no, don't take the food away.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I can only imagine. You're like a dog. You're like, stop doing that.
Yeah. I'm like, or like my face every time when they like took like something that I really liked, or like they brought like chicken out for me, and I love chicken. For anyone who knows me, like I'll eat chicken like 4 times a day, like Monday through Sunday. They brought the chicken out and I was like, oh, and then they took it away and I was like, no. Like my face, like the happiness went to sadness so quick.
And they caught that on camera.
They're like, Dom, why are you so sad? And I was like, because you took my chicken away.
That's awesome.
One thing though, like I get hangry, and there was a point towards the end, like when we could finally eat, that I was like getting hangry, and I was like, guys, if you take my food away one more time, I'm gonna snap.
I'm gonna steal one off the plate.
And then So I don't like seafood at all. I just whatever. I tell people like I'm allergic to it. So they brought the seafood out, and this is what they wanted me to eat on camera, and I was like, oh no. I'm like, bring back the damn chicken. I'm like, I ain't eating this. I'm like, no. And they're like, why? And I was like, I'm allergic to it. They're like, get it away, get away. I was like, yeah, bring me back the chicken. Bring me back the chicken.
So what kind of seafood was it though?
What was it? Their salmon? I think it was their salmon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I was like, nope, nope, bring back the chicken. Nope.
Yeah. So I almost want to ask this. So say you're deserted on an island.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm dying.
You're hunting for anything except for fish.
I mean, if I'm, pretty much. So I'm dying. I'd probably starve myself to death at this point. I'd be like, nope, not worth it. Like, nope.
Here lies Dominique Spica. She died because she didn't eat fish in the sand. And your skeleton's just there.
Yep. Hey, you know what? That's the way to go. That's the way to go. But I ain't eating fish. That is for sure.
Oh,
won't do it.
So no fish whatsoever. Not even
Nope.
because you know, living in Michigan, we're known for walleye and perch.
I'll go
and
fishing
anything.
though. I've gone fishing multiple times.
You just won't eat it.
Yeah, I've caught a bass. I've caught pike. I've caught sheephead. Like I have caught many of fishes, but I will not eat it. It just grosses me out. It really does. The smell of it gets me.
I mean, how did you used to grow up fishing? Like, if you grew up fishing, you should love that smell.
No. I just have never been a fan of fish, like ever. No.
Understandable.
And I did not know. I didn't really grow up fishing. It got more into like when I started, like my teenage years, when I started fishing more. Like when my friends started to do it, I was more introduced to that through friends and like what my family did and the smell of it. Even when I was little, like I don't like chocolate either. Like that's a big thing.
Oh my gosh, I'm starting to hate chocolate myself. Like the only thing I'll have is like chocolate milk.
Yeah, no, I won't even. I've all chocolate. Like I won't eat it. I won't drink it. Like I've just never liked it. So people think I'm like weird for that too. They're like, you don't like seafood and you don't like chocolate. Like, what do you like? And I'm like, chicken.
Yeah, I mean, besides chicken, what like say, say it's Halloween or Christmas or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And what do you want in your, Halloween bucket or Christmas stocking as like a candy?
I'm not a really big candy person, so I can't have any candy right now. I have Invisalign, and it's really, really hard to, like, I can't chew gum, I can't eat candy, so for me, I've just cut all that stuff out. When I was younger, like, I would maybe like Jelly Ranchers. Like, I would say maybe that would be like my one candy, but I can't eat that anymore. Or I have to take these out, and let me tell you, Invisalign it's worth it, but it's a pain in the butt.
No, I totally get it. But on the plus side, you can always have a Jolly Rancher shot.
That is true, but I would have to take out my Invisalign, so it's also
even for the shot.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep. So.
And I bet that's very attractive, especially like taking it out.
Oh my God! I remember the first date with the person that I'm seeing. And I literally had to straight up tell him, be like, look, well, this is like, so I got them back in, it was like the first week of January I got them, and I could not talk with them. And I'm like, I literally sounded like I had like a really, really bad lisp, and I was like, I do not have a lisp. And I'm telling him this, I'm like, look, I just got Invisalign. I'm still learning how to talk with them. I am so sorry that I like talk with a lisp right now. And he was totally cool. Like he's amazing. But I just remember our first time when I'm like, the food came and he goes, are you gonna eat it? I'm like, I gotta go take out my Invisalign, and like I had to like take it out, pull it out, and then come back in. And then when we were done eating, I'd go back in the bathroom and like put it in. It was so it's been interesting. So I try not to go out to eat that much anymore, just because I don't want to have to take. That's why we
Yeah.
have to go to the bathroom so much because I'm like, I gotta take these out, okay? And they
I
come with
mean,
like I have rubber bands too. You can't see them, but I have
oh,
to go
okay.
in there and like I really don't want to be at the table and be like trying to
Mm-hmm.
like put the rubber bands in and then snap these in. So I'm
Mm.
like, no. I'm like, we're just gonna not try to go out as much. So
I mean, I get
and same
that.
with
I get that.
alcohol. Like the reason why is they don't want like that like the sugar from the alcohol to get inside of the Invisalign because that can start to like um cause your teeth to like decay and stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah.
no. So that's why they like
Yeah.
advise you not to like drink anything but water with when you have them. So it's definitely like had me like I'm not a big drinker to begin with, but it's just like if I go out or something, it doesn't make me want to anymore. I'm like, no, you
Yeah.
guys, like, because then I would have to take them out and then I have to brush my teeth, and I feel like I brush my teeth already like 4 times a day.
So, how long do you have the Invisalign for?
2 years, two
Okay.
years,
I mean,
yeah. It's not bad. No, I just had a really, really bad overbite that was causing me to get really, really bad migraines,
mm,
and I just couldn't do it anymore. And I didn't want to get in like any medication, and then it caused me TMJ too, so I was getting jaw pain, and I was like, I need to get this fixed. So I was like, and thankfully, like, knock on wood, I haven't had a migraine since, and they've been helping like drastically. So I'm super excited because I still have what a year and like 10 months, I think. So, but I know it's gonna be worth it in the end.
yeah. I mean, that's all that matters is
Yeah, and this is
one, your
something I
migraines
really
go
want.
away. Yeah,
Yeah.
your migraines go away, the jaw pain goes away, and you come back with like I guess a even better smile. I guess like some
Mhm.
people are like some people get braces, some people get the
Yeah.
Invisalign for for those other reasons as
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah, no, I think too growing up, my smile was always the one thing that I was the most insecure about, but I
Mm,
didn't have the money to be able to afford them. And I was like, this is the time I want to do it, you know. I was thinking about my future and like kind of like what I want to do, like and decide to transition to. And I was like, in order for me to truly be happy, like I need to do this. So I went in one day and I was like, okay, I'm doing it. So
oh, good,
and I'm super
good.
excited. You know, it makes me happy and like it's helped me like with my confidence level too.
Yeah. Now, have you seen like I mean, you've had him on for 2 months or
Yeah.
3 months so far.
Uh-huh.
Have you noticed any of much of a difference?
I have, and it's so they always say it gets worse before it gets better. So right now I'm in that process of like they look good when the Invisalign is on, but I feel like when I take them out, like that's when you start to see like, you know, because they're moving my jaw up, they have to open teeth like make more space. So I'm like, oh my God, like I absolutely hate it right now. But I
Mm,
know it's going to be worth it. But I am seeing change, which is I'm happy for because you know when you put so much money into something, you're like, I really hope this works.
yeah, you're like fingers crossed all the way. Let's
Yeah, pretty
go.
much. Yeah. So, but no, definitely when I take them out, that's when I'm like, oh, I don't like what I'm seeing right now. But I know, but like I said, they said it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I completely understand why. And I'm glad I
Absolutely.
can talk to with them now. Like you don't even realize I have
I
them
was
in.
about to say I don't hear a lisp. Where's the lisp? I'm like,
I'm
adjusting my headphones and stuff. I'm like, I.
there it comes. It does come. Like there are sometimes if I'm talking too fast or if I'm saying too many S's, you'll hear it.
Mm,
But in the beginning it was really bad. Like it was I felt like I didn't even want to talk because I was just like, nope, this I sound so silly. But I've adjusted very well to them.
see, you just said I think three S's, and it just sounded just fine.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I don't know, maybe I hear it too more because of like I know what I sound like. So there are some times where I feel like I'm saying it, you know, weird, but maybe to you
Hmm.
it sounds normal. Because even when I first got them, like my friends and family were like, Dom, you kind of you. I mean, I can hear it, but it's not as bad. I was like, are you sure? Because I sound so funny right
Oh
now.
my gosh. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like with me like I'm getting nose surgery
Uh-huh.
in a few weeks, and it's mainly because of a deviated septum.
Oh,
right?
yep.
So with my deviated septum, like this part of my nose is like either on one side this way or one side that way. I think it's more that way.
Uh-huh.
So, but mainly it was because, football's in the face, or,
Yeah.
wrestling, or just,
Mm-hmm.
boyhood, roughhousing and
Yeah.
whatnot with the brothers or friends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been adjusted kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now, going, and I've actually listened back to a couple episodes. I'm like, I sound nasally. Like, I sound so nasally.
I don't think so. No.
Well,
But
I
for you,
appreciate that.
well, but for you, that's how you like hear it. You hear
Right.
back and you're like, oh man, that does sound bad. For me, I'm like, oh no, you sound perfectly fine.
Normal. Yeah.
So yeah. Are you excited though to finally be getting this done? Yeah.
I see. And the funny thing is like any surgery that I have, or like if I go to the doctor's office, I don't know what it is about my humor, but I always love to crack jokes with the doctors. Cause I mean, being a doctor, you got to think on your toes. You got to be serious.
Yeah.
And it's like, you go like, what was it? Like I hurt my finger. Right. And I had to get a little, it kind of amputated the tip of my finger.
Yeah.
Right. So, the doctor was explaining how she was going to do the surgery and everything like that. And, so out of a joke, I just said, hey, like, after you're done doing that, if you want, you're more than welcome to, just paying the fingernail if there's any left. And she just looked at me and she goes, huh, and then got back to explaining what she was doing.
Okay, I feel like doctors, just because I work with them so often, they don't really have a sense of humor. They take everything very seriously. So I
Right.
can see why she would be like that. She'd be like, why would you say that? Or think in her head and be like, wow, like
Yeah.
he's so cheesy,
Right.
So I feel like they kind of lose that sense of humor. I would be laughing, if you can laugh at yourself, that's all that matters. Everyone else around you, they don't have, that's what I say. I was like, they don't have a sense of humor.
Like, I feel like the interns kind of wanted to smirk or wanted to giggle.
The
that were in the
residents,
same room. Yeah, the residents that were in there. I knew they
But
wanted
they're trying to be like professional about it.
Yeah. But I'm like, I got you.
We got you.
I'm like, I got you.
They
interns.
probably talked about it as soon as they left the room. They were probably like dying laughing on it, but they didn't want to do it in front of you.
Right. They were like, man, that was a good one. But no, I figure, before going into surgery, I definitely want to tell the doctor, I'm like, hey, if you want, you can adjust this, just don't make it look like Michael Jackson. And also don't do a Miles Teller. Love the guy, but
like no.
Yeah. I don't even know. Like I should like just look up guy celebrities and be like, oh, see Brad Pitt.
Zac Efron. Feel like Zac Efron.
I feel like Zac Efron got his nose done. Either that or he got Botox in his lip. Yeah, well, have you seen him recently?
No.
Have you seen him recently? His lips are like thick.
He got some lip fillers. He's gonna pull like a Kylie Jenner.
I don't know, but I don't know if it's starting to become a trend now or something like that again.
I have not, no.
Like, do you remember? I don't know if I think it was Vine. When Vine was popular, Kylie Jenner had her lips thickened.
Oh yeah. They were like plumped.
Yeah. And so everybody started doing that like cup challenge.
Oh God.
And then
Please tell me his lips don't look like that. You're gonna make me want to look it up now.
I don't know. Like I almost want to have you look it up now.
Hold on. I'm looking this up because I'm gonna be so disappointed. Like this was like my crush.
This was your high school musical crush, yeah.
Yeah. Zac Efron, let me see his
I mean him and 17 again was great. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Homeboy got a face. Oh my God.
He got a face lift. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He went from hot to not.
How sad are you right now because of that?
I mean, he was my crush. I was never going to be with him. But.
Right.
No. Oh man. Nope. He just, nope. I mean, you know what? If it makes him happy, I'm all for it. But yeah, no. Mm-mm,
Yeah.
no. He
It
looks
just
like
amazes me.
he got stung by a bee and then like he's kind of swelled up.
Right. Yeah. But I almost feel like his nose is smaller too, like skinnier also. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
That's gonna make me look back on this.
I know.
Um, I don't think it was his nose. I think they brought up his cheeks.
That could have been it. Yeah.
I
So like
think
a
they brought
facelift
up
with
his
some
cheeks. Yeah,
Botox.
because
Yeah.
this was Zach before, and then
Okay.
this is Zach now.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they
I mean,
like brought up his cheeks.
yeah. Yeah. I would say so. I mean, granted, he always had a good,
Oh my.
fit. He had a good fit and everything. So
Yeah.
I don't know. And he just, came out with the movie Iron Claw, which is like
Yeah.
a wrestling movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he had to get into a certain type of shape for it. So I don't know if he
Yeah.
was eating something differently. You never
Maybe.
know.
I mean, that could always do it too. You know, some actors, actresses, they have to put on the weight in order to do the character. So maybe
Right.
that was what he had to do. So,
I
but you
don't
know
know.
what? If he's happy, then that's
That's all
to
that
him.
matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's just wild because you think of like him as like the 17 again guy,
I
or
know. It's just
Troy
like,
Bolton.
yeah. It's kind of sad though too because, you know, when you do stuff to your face, like it really does change you. And it doesn't,
Yeah,
I feel like it doesn't age you as well as what you would hope.
yeah, I get that. I get that. I mean, and some actors have aged very, very well.
Yes. I mean, yeah. If Jennifer Lopez,
Oh
she,
yeah, especially her. Yeah, are you kidding me? What? It's like, what is in that Latina blood? What? Like, give me some of that. Shoot. Yeah.
literally, some people just age as they get older, they just look better and better. And then there's some people
Yeah.
that age and you're like, what happened to you?
Yeah. Is there one that you can name right off the bat?
That, like, what happened to you kind of thing?
Yeah, that have aged
Um,
bad.
Let me think about this one right off the bat.
Because I can easily tell you one for me.
Let's hear yours.
Nick Nolte. You know
Oh
who Nick
yeah,
Nolte is?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Brad Pitt. I'm gonna say Brad Pitt.
I don't know.
No, I still don't think no. Compared to where he was and where he's at now, like, let me show you. I'll show you. Brad Pitt, 2024.
Like you're thinking, yeah.
I don't know.
You're
Maybe I'm just
thinking
not.
Angelina must have done a number on him.
Maybe it was the time that I feel like. Let me see. Because when he was younger, but as he got older, like when he grew his hair out, that was like when it
Yeah,
wasn't.
he had that. Yeah, when he looked. Well, and the funny thing is like this isn't the first time that he's grown his hair out.
Yeah.
Either. I mean, granted, when he was younger, like in the '90s, he grew his hair out.
Yeah.
And it looked good because it was like that style of the time and everything. Now he just kind of looks like he's that dad with the
Yeah, I'm literally
dad
trying to
with the
find
bun
like,
kind of thing.
yeah, so I'm trying to find him with like long hair to kind of show you.
Right. Yeah.
But,
But I don't know. I mean, I saw him in, what was it? I think Bullet Train, I think it was.
maybe I haven't seen, like I said, I don't really follow like celebrities that much. Like I
Yeah.
just, I have so much going on in life. I'm like, oh,
I hear you. Yeah,
So-
I just noticed that kind of stuff sometimes. I'm just like when the trailer for the Iron Claw came out and like he was doing different interviews. I'm like, Zach got something done. Like he doesn't look like the guy from when he did Baywatch or like anything recent of you know. I'm like, he's gotten some stuff done. I'm like, what's the deal there? Or he doesn't even look like the guy from when he was playing Ted Bundy.
Oh yeah,
I think
no.
that was
Ted Bundy, that was a great movie. That was great.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. But you know what?
Absolutely.
Hey, teach his own. So
Yeah.
I have no right to
absolutely.
say because you know what? If I can still look that good at like 40, 50, hey,
Right.
hopefully
So-
one day.
So, besides celebrities, I mean, of course, you pay attention to
Yeah.
sports figures. What is one sports figure? I mean, it could be Detroit or it could be elsewhere that you would just absolutely love to like meet, maybe even have like a sit down dinner with, and just have like a 4-hour conversation with.
The Kelsey brothers.
Same. Absolutely
I
same.
literally think that would be the absolute best sit down dinner lunch you could possibly think of because Jason is hysterical. Travis is literally just the same as his brother. You know, when you have two different personalities coming in at once, like I love their podcast. Like I listen to it every single day or when they release clips of it and then when they have it posted too. So I just feel like having a conversation with them, you know, would be so cool. Like
Yeah.
I would literally like want to be there and just like listen to what they have to say. Like I wouldn't even talk. Just the conversations that they have themselves, hilarious. Like the way that like Jason talks about his wife, adorable. But then the way that the wife is like kind of like she doesn't like to be on camera, but you can tell like she's like a little bit of like she's got it going on. Let me tell you that. And she's like so it's funny when Jason comes in and like says like my wife told me not to do that, but I did it anyways, you know?
Yeah, with the shirtless thing in
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
And you can even see a picture of her in the background just being like, that's my
My
husband.
husband. Yeah. But she's like so down to earth too, which is really nice to see.
Oh, yeah.
Just the entire family in general. And now like Travis is like dating Taylor Swift. So there's like now they have like two different kind of lives going on, you know. Travis is now having to transition into dating a pop star, literally the
Yeah.
number one pop star. And then Jason now is kind of I wouldn't say leaving the spotlight, but he's retiring, you know.
Yeah, he's more getting into a new role
Yeah.
of, you know, dad's now going to be always around.
Mhm.
You know, I'm sure he'll do like commercials.
Oh
He'll
yeah.
do,
Oh,
you know,
he'll
of
keep
course,
their
I'm sure the
podcast.
podcast is like
Oh,
making
that
money
parent.
like nobody's business.
Oh, they. I heard that it makes more money than what they're getting paid for in the NFL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be doing that for a while. Yeah,
Oh
for
yeah, and
sure.
I hope they do. You know what they talk about is it's really good stuff. They're
It
great,
is.
and I want to
Be-
listen to them.
Yeah, because they don't just talk about football. They
No,
talk
no,
about, you know,
what goes
other
on in
stuff.
their life, and it's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. And the interview, and also, may I add, like the interviews that they've done are
Oh,
very top notch.
oh yeah, uh-huh.
So, I mean, the fact that, you know, they bring on guys that they've either worked with or,
Yeah.
you know, played against and whatnot, and just, you know, having that good, you know, relationship with
Oh
all
yeah,
those
no,
other
that
people.
definitely it helps them out too. I mean, they already are
Hmm.
great people, so I'm sure them reaching out, everyone's like, absolutely, like I would love to do that, you know?
Right. Right. And
So,
especially with the popularity of their podcast should
oh yeah.
definitely help as well.
Oh, yeah, I just remember what was it that got me, what episode was it that got me like hooked? I think they were talking about, um, it was when I am a big Taylor Swift fan, but like I'm not so much into like, I really, you know what, you love who you love and like let them be. But I just remember hearing the one podcast when Travis was like, yeah, I went to her concert. I tried to give her a bracelet with my number on it. Her security wouldn't take it, you know? So like that one was pretty funny. And now they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, it was like a friendship bracelet or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But
Yep.
that is honestly very creative.
That is
Uh,
trying to get a girl's attention, especially at
yeah.
a concert, you know?
Oh yeah. And I mean, like you were saying beforehand, where
Yeah.
you know you're keeping your relationship not so much hush hush,
Mm-hmm.
but you know for public purposes, you
Yeah.
know. Which is immediately what I thought of was Travis and Taylor. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
she's doing a Travis and Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, look at you go. You know, you're taking some notes from from those guys.
No. Yes. Yes and no. I mean, I always told myself that my next relationship was going to be more of it private than it was a
Mm,
secret.
yeah,
And honestly, I'm loving it so far because like
yeah,
I get to learn so much more about someone and just really focus on them instead of, you know, like not necessarily saying like, but things can happen. Like you don't know. Like one minute they're one person, the next to their next person, and like as soon as you post about them and then you stop posting about them, people are gonna be like, "Ooh, what happened?" You know. So it's kind of like one of
mm,
those that like I also want to like 100% like be sure that like this person. I mean, I have a really really good feeling it's going to be, but more of like a long term. So.
yeah, yeah. I get that,
You
and
know, because people
I'm
change.
kind of the same way. Yeah, because I'm kind of the same way where it's like, you know, within 2 months, it's like, yeah, that person may be absolutely awesome, but it's still very fresh. It's
Yeah.
still very
Yeah.
new, and you don't want to, one conversation may happen to where it's like, maybe you're not the one,
Yeah.
and then you got to go through the process of like, oh, gotta delete this one, oh, gotta delete that, but
I think one thing that's really helped me is asking those big questions up front,
oh yeah,
being in those uncomfortable positions. Because if you're trying, for me, I've told many of people, like, when I date to marry. Like, that is I
yeah,
mean, that's my end goal. It's not necessarily saying it's going to happen every single time, but I don't want to date just because I feel like I have to have a boyfriend.
right,
Like, I'm very happy on my own. So getting putting people in those uncomfortable positions and asking them those questions really do help you in the beginning, just so you can kind of figure out, okay, like, yeah, like, there's more to this person that I want to know, or you know what, no, like, we're not really compatible. It saves time too. Like, I hate
right.
having my time wasted. I'm sure they hate having their time wasted. So if you just kind of be upfront with everything and have great communication. That's a big thing too, is people don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
communicate anymore, which I think is crazy to me.
Amen to that. Amen to
So
that.
I'm like, if you can't communicate with me, this isn't gonna work. Because for me, for how I am a person, like, just communicate with me. Because
Mm-hmm.
then I don't like to overthink, and I do that a lot. So I'm like, if you just communicate with me, then I don't have to overthink.
Right. Yeah. And it makes it very much simpler. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, do yeah. And it makes things work out better in the long run. When you feel like you
absolutely.
have a healthy relationship, you can talk to them about anything and they're not going to come back and judge you. They're going
Mm-hmm.
to be straight up with you and be like, "Hey, like, this is how I feel." And also to, like, you kind of learn with communication, like, kind of, you want to listen to how they feel, and like, it's okay to express your feelings. You should never be afraid to do that. But it's also important for you to kind of hear what they have to say, and like and take that into consideration, instead of it just being all on them or like all on you. Like, like, the blame game can't just be on one person. It's kind of like you have to listen to each other, and that's like really, and you have to kind of establish that in the beginning, because if you don't have that, you're never going to have that.
Mm. Yes. I fully, firmly agree with that. Like, look at you blowing me away with the whole, like, answers. This is awesome.
Trust me, I've gone through many of attempts of people. Like, I'm not saying, like, I've gone on dates, like, and I've kind of figured out, like, what I like what I don't like. I'm not one to make it public though. Like, people could go on my profile and be like, this girl has never dated a date in her life. I'll be like, trust me, I have, but they weren't worth somebody that I felt like was worth it.
Right.
And like, I always tell them, I'm like, look, you're not my person, but you're gonna find your person. And like, I wish that the best on everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm just
Absolutely.
not your person, and that's okay. And people don't tend to recognize that or accept that. They
Yeah.
just think, like, and that's another thing too, like, jumping into something so quickly. You're like, do I really know this person? You get excited that you finally have someone that's similar to you. So it's been, as I've stated, it's been nice just kind of getting to know someone without the extra pressure of everyone else around you.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely get that, because I mean, if you look back at like high school or whatever,
Mhm.
if the, those little things would just bother you,
Mhm.
that like, as now, as a 20 something, you're like, that thing that used to bother
It doesn't bother you
me,
anymore.
it doesn't bother
No, you
you
find
as
other things, like, but you just, like, you kind of grow up too.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, like
That's a
one
big
thing's
thing
for
though
sure.
too.
Yeah, one thing's
I
for sure. Like, I would have buddies that would be like, "Oh, like her, really?"
Yeah.
And now it's like, I got friends that are just like, "Who cares? Like, does she treat you well? Does she,
Yeah. No, it's like,
is she
yeah.
nice to you?"
It's not even like people say, like, back then it was about the looks. It was about, you had to have the hottest guy or hottest girl in school. And now it's like, are they going to treat you? Who's going to treat you the best, and who's going to give
Mm,
you what you need? Um, One thing that my mom has always said, looks change, but your person, like, but their heart, that doesn't change. So
mm,
it's not about
yes,
what's on the outside, it's about what's on the inside. And that's
yeah,
something that's also, like, I've kind of grown out of too, being a girl, and like when I was younger, I would always, want to go for the cute, attractive dude, and not, and now I'm like, not saying like the person I'm seeing now, very, very attractive, but it's what his personality and like how he sees life and what he and his futures and like he's driven and so motivating, and I'm like, that's what really made me like fall for him. I'm like, that's the person,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, heck, he could be butt ugly. Who knows? But I mean, his personality sounds beautiful.
Well, he's not, so at least not. Well, no, to me, he's the most attractive person ever.
There you
So
go.
inside and out.
And that's all that matters, is that you find him as attractive as possible. So to kind of jump back onto the sports train.
Yeah.
I had totally forgot to ask you.
Yeah.
So you've been to Kansas City.
Yep.
You've been to Tampa.
Yep.
Of course, you've been to Ford Field and LCA and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is one city that you would love to go to and just watch either a football game, baseball game, hockey, basketball, doesn't matter. But like, what is one city? Actually, let me rewind that question.
Mm-hmm.
What is one city that you would love to go see a basketball game, a hockey game, a football game, and a baseball game?
Let me think about that one. Would it necessarily be like, let's say if I go to like an away stadium, like to go watch the Lions, or just like a city like overall?
Let's just say a city overall. I mean, Detroit doesn't actually have to play at that city.
Las Vegas would probably be. I definitely want to see Allegiant Stadium. That looks incredible. It's so expensive, but I definitely think like seeing like a sporting event in Vegas would be a pretty fun experience.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, honestly, I mean, if I were to go to Vegas and the Lions weren't playing there, I would trade in my Honolulu blue for some Raider black.
Oh no.
No?
If I were in Vegas, I would still be rocking the Honolulu blue because I'm like, we should have been here, but
that's the only reason.
Yeah.
We should have been here.
But then we should have been here. Well, no, and like because it's like one of my favorite teams, and if I were to like support the Raiders, it would probably be like for Max Crosby. But other than that, I'd be like, no.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would just wear a Max Crosby jersey. Nothing else. I'm like, and people
even
are
if
like,
you were to
you're
go
a
to the
traitor.
Super Bowl, even though if you were to go to the Super Bowl and the Raiders didn't even make the playoffs, but you're still just going to their stadium, you would be like, I'm gonna wear Raiders. Heck no, I would wear the Lions before I put the Raiders on. At least we were like one game away from the Super Bowl.
I mean, that is fair. I mean, I look at it to where, we were so close to Vegas, but I don't know. I feel like, if I was to go to a Raiders game, just their colors are just cool. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
Their colors are cool. If you look back at like pop culture, NWA, well, when they were back in Oakland, NWA rocked Raider gear like nobody's business. And then, of course, in rap culture, like it was really big. So I mean, people were wearing, the white Adidas sneakers that Run DMC was rocking with, the Raider gear, and I mean, it was just like a great fit. I mean, I think so, but
I think just being like the passionate fan that I am and stuff, like for me to wear a color other than the Lions, like I think that would like really just kind of like hurt a little, like kind of like put a little in my heart.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, continue.
Oh, okay.
Go.
So I was gonna say. So, speaking of that, so for the Super Bowl, did you wear Lions gear?
I did. Yes.
Okay, I figured you'd be one of those people.
I would have worn it regardless, even if we didn't make it as far as we did. I wore it more so because I'm very proud of what the team did this season, so it was, and like, honestly, I just don't like Kansas City, and I could care less about, San Fran. So
yeah, if you ever have a dinner with Travis Kelce, I want to hear you say that.
and I'd be like, I don't like Kansas City, but you're a great tight end. So
Good save.
Yeah.
Good save. Definitely a good save.
I'm just being honest. So, I mean, you don't have to, technically, you can like the player. You just don't have to like the team.
That is fair. That is very fair.
So,
Yeah, I
hey.
get that. So, so I've seen you post pictures of you at the Wings game.
Yeah.
Of course, Lions games.
Yes.
This spring, are you planning on going to a couple Tigers games?
Oh, absolutely. I love baseball. So I grew up playing softball. So I really much enjoy baseball.
Okay.
It's kind of hard watching a game when the team, like, Tigers are still so young and they have so much potential. It's just hard going to a Tigers game and the game not being as exciting as what you would hope,
Right.
So, but, I just love being in the atmosphere. I love being at Comerica Park. I love just being able, baking in the sun, coming out and being like, why did I not put sunscreen on?
Right.
But also, just hearing the sound of the bat when they hit the ball. So I love the atmosphere of baseball. It's a lot harder to cheer for a team that I wouldn't say is not good, but, growing up and watching a team that was so good making it to the World Series, and now it's like it's hard to watch.
I will definitely agree with you on that one. But
so like
still...
last season was a lot easier, just because Miguel Cabrera was still there, growing up with him. But now it's like, okay, we got some good players, so don't get me wrong. We got Gary Carpenter, we got Riley Green, but they're all young. We got a very young team.
Torkelson,
yes. So I just think if we just I think the Tigers over the years have traded, like we get a good player and then we end up trading them. It's like we never kind of stick with the same players. So I think maybe if we can just stick with the same players and grow and help build on that, it would probably give us a little bit better of a future. So hopefully this year we win our division. I can see us winning.
I see it. I definitely see it.
As for a playoff run, I don't know. It's hard to tell because people were saying that about the Lions. Oh, they won't make it. It's hard to tell. And there's so many games in baseball, so many. So I can't even tell you.
Yeah. I mean, with preseason, they look good in preseason, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I've heard that if you're good in preseason, then that means that you're going to have a bad season, like regular season. I'm not exactly sure.
I've heard that in football too.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure, but I do know for a fact that I have buddies that are bigger into sports than I am, and they're telling me that that the Tigers are gonna win the division.
Yeah. I do say that.
I mean, I am more of a guy that's like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And you know what? You have every right to be, especially with what this team has put out the last couple of years. You have a right to be kind of skeptical on that. Being like, I don't know, you can say that, but it's how are they going to play the game?
Right, exactly. I mean, they got way more games than the Lions do, so I mean, you got to also consider like different things like injury and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Injuries will destroy us. That's happened last season. That set us back, but that's with any team. When some of your best players go out, and then you kind of start to realize, okay, maybe you can't win games without those starting players.
Yeah. And, of course, when you said, when you have such a losing team, how can you, root for or wear the clothing?
I will always wear it. Like, that's not a problem for me. I will always wear it. But when you're sitting there and you're just watching, they just get, annihilated. That's when it's kind of like, I can't sit here much longer. But then you kind of get a couple drinks in your hand and you're like, I think I can do this. And
good.
Plus too, going there on a Friday night, how can you not it's just the atmosphere of it all. I just love being downtown and just being outdoors on a nice sunny day. So there's a lot more with baseball than just watching the game. Plus the game does go by a lot quicker now with the new rules.
Very much so, yeah.
So it's not so much of a longer game anymore. I feel like by the time the last game, I'm hoping to go to opening day. We'll see. I'm coming back from Europe that week, so I'm
awesome.
So it depends on like if
I'll have many more questions about that. I'm actually going to write that down. Ask about Europe.
Oh, I'll have so much to tell you. So, sorry, this is my other fluff ball. If you want to see him.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is a huge cat.
No. He's just hair. He's literally just hair. Like if you would have like brushed him down, he's so small. But with his hair, he's just a big fluff ball.
He almost reminds me of that cat from Stuart Little.
Nope, he's just a big fluff ball. Like look at all this hair.
How is brush? Like, do you brush him a lot? Like every
Every
day?
day. Mm-hmm.
How much hair is on that brush?
A lot, if you're wondering. Too much. But this is him. This is my little fluff ball. Say hi, Teddy.
He's adorable. He's absolutely adorable.
I love how I just bring him in camera and you're all like...
Yeah,
like,
I'm like writing down, later in the episode, I'd like to know more about your Europe trip. But I mean, I look up and I'm like,
I told you. He's the one that loves to cuddle.
I believe
loves
I would cuddle with him. I would love to cuddle with that.
He has
cat.
his purring, like I always say, he's got his engines going because he is so loud when he purrs. And it's like nonstop too.
Especially when he's comfortable, absolutely.
Oh my god, yeah.
So, before we were talking about Europe, and before we were talking about the cat, is there any possible chance where we'll see you in any Pistons gear this year?
So I'm actually going to a Pistons game tomorrow.
Oh, awesome! Who are they playing?
Sure. I have no idea.
Okay.
But it's for my friend's birthday and it's been on the calendar. So I used to play it when I was younger. I just kind of grew out of it, after the 2002 Pistons, they just haven't been the same. So, so it's just been kind of hard to watch them too. And for me, it's like, I think with football, with like hockey, it's like the aggressiveness of the sport. I don't know if it's just like the contact that's like, for me, a lot more interesting. I'm not saying basketball isn't, it's just not something that I'm very much into, and I don't like to talk about something that I'm not 100% confident in talking about. Like, I don't want to ever go on my platform and talk about something and make it seem like I know it when I really don't. Like, that just makes me look bad. I'd rather just talk about stuff that I know and I'm pretty confident in answering. Like, that's when you said that, like, who are they playing tomorrow? I don't know because I don't follow them. But if you were to ask me that about the Lions and be like, hey, so-and-so, let's talk about so-and-so, I'd be like, I don't know. Then you'd be like, then why are you talking about sports if you don't even know who they are?
Mm-hmm. But an overall, being a Detroit and Michigan fan, Michigan sports fan, like, of course, you want to go to that. I mean, I'm the same exact way. I don't like basketball, but I'll go to a basketball game and still enjoy it. I think it's going to
be so much fun. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm just not one to like talk about it, but I will be. I don't think I have to look in my closet to see if I have anything remotely close to Pistons gear. I don't think I do. Literally one side of my closet is just Detroit Lions stuff. Like it takes up one closet itself. Then my other closet is like my normal clothes. Yeah, God bless whoever I end up marrying because they're going to be stuck with having to have 4 closets because one's just going to have to be my like Detroit Lions closet. I don't care what anyone says.
And if you don't have a closet, you'll make one.
Oh, I will make one. It's going to become a bedroom at this point.
I was gonna say it's gonna be a walk-in closet. It's gonna be like one of those like what is it, the James Bond closets where like or no, what is it, the Princess Diaries one?
Yes,
where they walk in that closet, but it's like all Lions gear.
Oh my God bless them. I always say God bless whoever I end up marrying because they're gonna be like, Dom, you do not need this much clothes. I'm gonna be like, you don't understand. You will never see me at a Lions game in the same outfit ever. Never. I'm like, no. If you look back, you will never see. If you look back at all my pictures, every single game, I have a different outfit, and I plan it very well.
I like that. That's smart.
Thank you.
I like that. That's very smart. Now, are you usually decked out like head to toe, like literally head
for me,
to toe?
like I think that's another thing why people like in the beginning like kind of hated on me a little bit just because they were like, oh, this girl just like she doesn't know it because I dress extra for games, and I'll tell you, I do dress extra for games, but I do it because I love the game, and I just feel, when you look good and you feel good, like it's just like it brings so much more energy. And like, and I
Hmm.
love if I'm like feeling good, I look good, and then I get to go watch my team play. Like, it's just like it makes me like feel even like happier. So,
You can strut your stuff and and you just
mhm,
feel, yeah,
yeah,
I totally get it. I
yeah,
totally get it. Well, you can don't you're not getting a hater from me, because I mean, I'm all about it to where,
hmm.
from head to toe you're feeling like an absolute boss of a,
If I'm
well,
feeling like a
and
10 out of
you're
10, like that's just like
yes.
that's how every single game. I'm like, I walk out, I'm like, I'm a 10 out of 10 right now.
Mhm.
It makes
Absolutely.
me feel good. I don't care what anyone else has to say, but it makes me
Yeah.
feel good. But I usually plan it out. So like at least like 2 months in advance. Like I reach out to this one girl through and she makes like custom clothing. I'm like, hey, you know why I'm here? And she goes, Dom, I'm ready for you. Let's see what we can come up with. So a couple of my things that I've gotten are from her. And like, I like that they're one of a kind things, just so that there's something that I can have.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean your jackets. I mean, when you went to
Hmm.
Kansas City and you were rocking that jacket, I was like, I would wear that.
I love that jacket. I have
That is a
worn it
beautiful
multiple
jacket.
times to when I say like I've done different outfits, I've worn that jacket, but I've switched it up because I just think that the jacket itself represents it so well. And I'm like, I cannot just wear this once. I was like, this would go to waste if I just wore this once. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever gotten. So I'm hopefully I can get something again like that similar. I might do it maybe in a different color, but I just think black is just such like a powerful color. So I'm like, I that's why I
Yes.
love it. And it goes with anything too. It's really, really easy to match with things.
Right, right.
But thank
Um
you. It's one of my
yes,
favorites.
yes. I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, I need to step up my like Lions gear game. And
I know.
so I started looking up on Amazon of all places, and I had
Yes.
looked up like Lions memorabilia or something like that,
Hmm.
and the jacket from Beverly Hills Cop came up, and I was like, I actually dig that varsity jacket. I
I
feel like I
have a
would rock
varsity
that.
jacket. Hmm.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
wore one
like
to
the one.
California. Oh, the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that Eddie Murphy, like not the actual one, but like a
Uh-huh.
replica of
Oh,
it.
that
But
would
I
be
mean,
cool. Oh, that would have been
yeah,
so sick. That. Oh
yeah.
yeah. No. Did
Look
you
at
get
it.
it
Look
or
at
no?
not yet. I'm gonna
Not
probably
yet.
get it before the season starts though.
Ooh, you better post it so I can see this.
Oh, you better really I'll send it to you personally.
Ooh, I
I'll be,
feel
I'll
honored.
send
I
it to
feel honored.
yes, yes, yes. I'll send it to you personally. I'm like, am I at your level yet?
It's so hard though too, just because I really and the reason why I also try to like get custom stuff is I'm helping out smaller businesses too. Because when
Yeah.
people ask me like, "Hey, where'd you get it?" I can kind of send them to her, and I just
Right.
rather put my money into that than to put it into just a company that makes billions of dollars a year. Like
Right.
I can't even talk right now. Make billions of dollars each year, and I'm like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I rather just give my money to someone who, needs it more, or like they actually make really good quality stuff. So that's why I'm
And
like,
for a good price, I'm
oh,
guessing.
for yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Oh shoot.
it's a great price. People probably don't. I mean, I do spend a little bit more, but I'm getting great quality out of it. And
Hmm.
like I said, and I'm not big into jerseys. Like people have noticed, they're like, why don't you wear a jersey? I'm like, I'm really
Right.
not big into jerseys. Just representing one player. I like to just kind of represent the whole team. That's my idea of when I'm putting my outfit together is try to build something that has the whole team on it instead of just one player. Unless
Okay.
it's Amon St. Brown. I love Amon St. Brown. So I have his jersey. I've worn it before.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you wear it again?
Yeah, I would just change up my outfit. Maybe I went because last time I did boots. Maybe I'll do my Nike Dunks. Like
I
I,
was gonna say some sneakers would go really
yeah,
well with it.
yeah. So I'm already thinking up here. So and
Hmm.
there's a new thing right now that people are they're doing like those not the coats, but they're like the you've probably seen it.
A
That
vest.
yeah, the vest. I've been trying
Hmm.
to find someone who can make
Oh, you're talking about the puffy
yeah,
vests,
the puffer
right?
vest. Yeah, 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 that.
Yes.
That's what people have been doing, and I'm trying to find someone who can make me one, possibly for the NFL draft.
Hmm.
Um, just because I think that would be, with the weather and everything like that, that would be a cool thing. It's just because I don't know how to make it myself. I have no idea. I'm not. talented like that, but it would be cool. So I've been looking into that. I think that would be really cool. And then that's something that I can wear throughout the season too, not just once.
So I may have seen one. I don't know if it was a vest or a coat, but it was a puffy jacket with lion on it.
Ooh.
Check out Rally House.
No, see, the thing is though, like, I wouldn't
I'm
want to
guessing
go.
you've already checked.
No, I wouldn't want to go through Rally House though. Like I said, I'd rather give my money to someone who's like makes them, like custom makes
I
them.
get, yeah. Well, I get that too. I mean, if
And there's Rally
if
House
it
is going
comes
to be
down to the wire,
expensive.
yeah, I've
They're
noticed
very
that as well.
expensive.
I've
So I'm
noticed
like,
that as well.
no.
You
And
know,
because that's another thing that like I feel like anybody can go out and buy. Like I like to have stuff that people typically like don't
very
have.
authentic and unique.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, you
No,
know,
I appreciate it. No,
because
thank
the
you.
draft is around the corner, and if it
Yeah.
comes down to the wire, you never know if you really want that like kind of style.
I've made things work. I've made it work. Even if it's like a week before, I'm like, I will make this work. I will come up with something. So
Yeah.
I've kind of been thinking about it, but it's not been so much on my mind. Like just kind of because like I don't even have like the full details yet for like the NFL draft and like how that's gonna go down. It's kind of like a layout. So I'm like, okay, let's figure out like how this day is gonna go because I literally took off work, so I'm gonna be there like all the time, like for the 3 days. And then yeah.
Oh, so
but,
you are going to be there. That was going to be my next question was, are you going to be there just the
Yep.
first day or all 3 days?
Oh, all 3 days. All 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
If I
next
see you,
time.
I'm gonna be like, I know her. I know her. I'm gonna be like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where it's like, hey.
I know you. I know you. No, if you do see me, please come up and say hi. Please. I think no, it would be so.
Oh, I
much
mean
fun.
on like TV. I mean
Oh,
on
on
TV.
TV. Oh.
My buddies might go, like
Yeah.
maybe the second or third
To be
day.
honest,
I've heard
if like
them
the
talk
camera
about
comes
it, but
on me, I'll probably be like, no.
no,
I
don't
just
be like,
no,
"Woo!"
no, because I don't know what I'm doing at that moment. Like that's my fear of like getting put on camera, and I'm like that face. Like my face. I don't really want my face to become a meme because I know there are some times where like my face can get so straight, and I'm just like really mad, or like I'm doing something. I'm like, oh, what am I doing? And like I just don't want that to be on camera. So I'm like, if I see the camera, I'm just going like, oh, at least you won't get my face.
Well, I mean, definitely. If anything, I guess be in the front row. That way, you can see your peripheral vision. I mean, because your vision's pretty good, right?
I would say so. I mean,
Yeah. So
I'm
as long
wearing
as you
contacts right now. If I take my contacts
Okay.
out, no, I'm blind as a bat. I will literally crash
Okay.
into a wall.
So just make sure you got your good contacts in, and then you can see them in your peripheral vision, so you can be like, okay, here they come, here they come,
Here they
and
come.
it's on me, and
Yeah.
just woo.
Woo! I will definitely try. No promises, but I will try. I'm just saying, like, I've been caught on camera, and the faces that I make, like, when I'm not paying attention, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, what?
I mean, I feel like everybody has had those moments
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. That's hilarious.
But it's like when they become a meme, that's like my fear, because then I would be
If you
like,
become a meme, I say rocket. I say rocket. Like almost make a T-shirt out of it. If you become a meme,
oh,
and
if
your
I become
face
a
is on it,
meme, I will literally buy my whole family a shirt of like that meme and be like, guys, this is how you know I made it.
I mean, I would honestly buy a T-shirt with like your face as that meme. I would buy it. I would.
Support it. Be like, I
Support
support
it.
her.
Yes. Be like, what's that? Like, oh, it's my girl Dom. She's a meme, don't you know?
She made it. That's when
She
you know you
made
made it. She made it.
I mean, I could honestly say like we made T-shirts for my brother.
Mhm.
We do like summer vacations as a
Yeah.
family, and we were in Ludington, Michigan, and my brother had like the surfer like hair, just like kind of like almost hippie like almost.
Yeah.
It was very long. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and he did this thing where he took sand and he stretched his arms and he just
Mhm.
starts sprinkling the sand and he just goes sand. Okay, it was stupid, but
Yeah.
he was just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
And so for his birthday,
Mhm.
I think it was for his 18th birthday or something
Yeah.
like that. Anyway, my other brother made a T-shirt out of him shirtless, just on the beach, just sprinkling the sand, and then underneath it says sand. And it's absolutely hilarious. And so our first day that we drove to
Yeah.
Ludington, and of course we stopped different places, and we have my brother shirtless on our shirt, and everybody that, like, whether if it was a McDonald's or whatever, they would just look at our shirts and laugh. And I'm just like, this is the greatest day ever, especially because it's his birthday.
I
Oh
love
my
that.
gosh.
That's
Now you need,
genius.
have I put an idea in your
Yes.
head for your
Yes.
brother?
Yes. I don't know if he would do that or not. I mean, maybe he would. Maybe he would rock it. But no, that's like, no, no. That's a good idea though.
For his
I like
birthday,
that.
yeah.
First, I
Do
mean,
like an embarrassing
technically,
photo or something.
technically, I'm a twin, so we would have the same birthday.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, still, I mean, I think, you know what? This actually gave me a good idea, and I think you should do this for your
Okay.
next birthday. So when's your next birthday?
Well, technically, my next birthday is October 29th, as it has been the last 26 years.
Okay.
So I'll be now 27.
All right. So when you turn 27
Okay.
on October 29th, by the way, are you a Libra?
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a Libra. I'm on October 7th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. October babies, look at us go.
We are at the best birthdays.
I know. Football season. Come on.
I love it.
So,
Every single.
but anyway, I was gonna say, so for your birthday, he wears his favorite color, you wear your favorite color, but the only difference is you wear an embarrassing photo of him on a t-shirt,
Mhm.
and then he wears an embarrassing photo of you on his t-shirt.
Oh, that would be so funny. And just like walk around or like walk into the restaurant and be like, "Happy birthday to my brother," and then he can
Happy
be like,
birthday to my twin.
Yeah, happy birthday to my twin.
And on the, like, whoever was born first, on the back, on the shoulders, say put twin 1 or twin 2.
Oh my God, I'm doing that. That would be so funny. Please remind me in October. Be like,
I
Don,
will.
do you remember this conversation that we had? Because I will
make the
100%
clip, yeah.
do it. Because I already have the perfect picture in my head that I would do for him.
Awesome.
And he would probably like die laughing, and like I would have the perfect picture for him too, because let me tell you, like I said, I can make some really ugly faces, and I'm sure he has them.
Only siblings do. All siblings have ugly photos of their other
No.
siblings.
You don't realize how ugly and humbling some of those pictures are until your parents post them on Facebook, and you're like, why would you post that? That is the worst picture I've ever seen of myself. And they're like, what are you talking about? You look beautiful. And I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's one where like this is like sad, but yet really funny, especially to my buddy Alan.
Yeah.
So every Christmas, my mom likes to take pictures in matching pajamas. Okay.
That's cute.
Right?
That's cute.
Right. The only problem is I'm the only sibling out of 3 boys that is single.
Oh.
So where's my placement? You got my dad, or you got my stepdad, you got my mom in the back.
Are you like in the middle?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're in the middle, surrounded by you're probably your brother with their girlfriends, and then there's just you, and you're like, hi, smile.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It's gonna change this year. This year is gonna be different. This year's
my year.
This year's your year. You got it. You got it.
But no. I mean, there's that photo, and my buddy Alan, I sent that to him because I had told him about that, and he just was like, "No way!" And I was like, "Way! I promise you, it's gonna happen." And so I sent him the picture, and he lost it. He calls me. He goes, "That is the funniest thing I've ever seen." And then, like months later, he sends me a picture of it.
Do you have it? Pull it up. Let's see it.
Yeah, I do.
Let's see it.
But yeah, so he's like, dude, I'm about to make this into a t-shirt and just wear it for me. I'm like, okay. Let's see. Now I gotta look on Facebook because again, like myself have been like, Mom, I don't know how I feel about that. She's like, what? Everybody's together. It's all cute. Well, I mean, you get this one.
Let's see.
This one's pretty funny. I used Great Gatsby pose for it. Let's see.
Wait, is that a Make America Better or Great Again hat?
Everybody says that. No. It says Merry Christmas. Thank God I changed hats. Thank God I changed hats.
I was like, wait, is he wearing a Make America Better? Like,
No, it says Merry Christmas
I
on
could
it.
not see that from
You're
here.
like the 10th person that has said that. I'm like, it says Merry Christmas.
That is so funny, though. That's really, really funny and creative.
I mean, yeah. Let's see if I can scroll up a little bit. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty. Let's see. Huh? Never mind. Thought it was there. Guess not. Huh. I mean, I don't know if I can find it on his or not, but because I know he sent it to me over Snap. Oh no, I guess not. Anyway, but yeah. So you can honestly picture it after showing you that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, even that photo, you know.
I really hope that photo is what everyone's gonna be wearing for your birthday.
Mm.
Just
Yeah, maybe.
you all walk into a bar and you just see that picture.
Oh,
I saw
yeah.
this one
Well,
thing though on TikTok, and it was like the guy like put like the barcode that you can scan on his shirt that was like, if you're single, scan this, and it like sent them to like their Instagram. It was the funniest thing. So imagine
That's
if your
a
buddies,
genius idea.
right? Oh, so imagine if your buddies walk in with that shirt and they all have the thing on the back, be like, my buddy's single, like scan this, and it'll bring you right to like your Instagram, and like they can just like, say hey, like I saw you at the bar or something.
Genius. Good idea.
Hey, it would be like a
Oh.
very like interesting, a great story to talk about.
Absolutely.
Be like, I got this girl because I had her scan my hoodie, and yeah.
Or she scanned my buddy's shirt.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. So, last question of the interview.
Mm-hmm.
So as you said, you're going to Europe. When are
Yes.
you going to Europe?
March 22nd.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's when I get my nose surgery. While you're enjoying Europe, I'll be getting, a little
Snip, snip. You're like, ooh.
yeah. I'll be
Yes.
getting a little, yeah. That's funny. So where are you going in Europe?
Just Poland.
Oh, really? Just Poland?
Yep.
Okay. Is there anywhere in Poland that you are going to that you want to visit?
I mean, I fly into Warsaw, and then I definitely want to see Krakow. I heard that's really pretty. There's so many pretty
Mhm.
cities around Poland. It was definitely one of those unexpected trips, but there's a big story behind it that I don't want to say right now, but
I was gonna say, can you say it? Can you say that story?
not now.
Maybe off air.
Off air.
Okay.
But I'm excited. It's gonna be a really fun trip.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. How long are you gonna be there for?
Just for the week.
Oh, okay. So a week that you're in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever been to Europe?
I have not, no. So it's going to be a very interesting experience, like first time there. There's a lot that I'm very excited for when it comes to Europe, not just Poland, but there's a lot that comes with it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Have you been catching up on your Polish?
I speak Italian. I am Italian, so you ain't getting
Okay.
no Polish out of me. The only thing I know from Poland is that they make great vodka. So
Thanks on that. Yeah. I'll agree on that one. You're going from wine to vodka. How about that?
I'm actually a
about that?
margarita girl. That's all I drink
Oh,
is margaritas.
have you
Mhm.
been to Margaritaville?
I have.
Oh,
I feel like
nice.
everyone has to at least one time.
Oh, well, I haven't been exactly to Margaritaville, like the OG,
Mhm.
but I passed by a Margaritaville restaurant and
Mhm.
bar when I was in Pigeon Forge,
Mhm.
Tennessee. So, but I was just like, oh, cool, Margaritaville.
No, like that's like people People talk about it all the time. It's literally a song. You gotta go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta go.
Well, we'll see. I mean, definitely on my bucket list is to visit Margaritaville.
Hmm.
Wherever, I mean, I think the original is in Florida, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So now, whereabouts in Florida do you know?
Is it? Where was it? Hold on. You know what? You're gonna make me look this back up because it's been a while.
Yeah, because I'm going to Florida in May, but I don't know if it's going to be in the same vicinity as where
No,
I'm going to be.
Margaritaville is. Hold on. It's right. Location. It's like
Now I'm
giving
going to
me
be
all the
singing that.
locations. Huh?
Now I'm going to be singing that song after we're done. It's already ringing in my head right
It's the
now.
Key West because it's in Key West because it's the Jimmy Buffett's. That's the original one with the Key West.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're not. I'm going to be in Orlando area, so
I think they have one in Orlando, but it's not like the Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville.
well, I mean, you got to go to the OG one. I mean, did
No,
you?
I have not. No,
Oh, so you went to a off like
I
chain
did. I
then?
did. I've been to Margaritaville, but I've never been to the original Key West because I've never been to Key West before. It would be. It
Okay.
would be. It's on my bucket list, so I definitely have to make it out there too. I'm telling you to go, and I'm the one that needs to go too.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Hmm.
Well, whoever goes first, like, we'll have to tell each other, be like,
Yes.
it's awesome.
So I feel like it will be. You know, I mean, it's kind of sad that he passed away, so that kind of like it's a little bit of like a bummer, but
Yeah.
I think still gonna be like a party.
Oh, always.
5 o'clock
And
somewhere.
yes, absolutely. Well, the good thing is that you'll be able to experience Poland and get to experience something that is, you know, totally different than
Yeah.
America and everything. So that, I mean, I wish you
Yeah, no, for
absolutely
sure.
much of fun.
Thank you. No, I'm very much excited to kind of see the world in a different perspective. You know,
Absolutely.
I've kind of like a realization of like America is kind of in such a bubble and we're blocked out by seeing so much. So it's going to be really interesting to go to another country, see how they live, see how their lifestyle is, and just like as I've been told, once you come back a different person every time you leave the country. So that's kind of like I just want to experience something else instead of just being wrapped in like this world right now, like everything that's going on. It's just kind of go see what's out there. I want to
Yeah.
live more. I want to experience life more. That's been on my bucket list, and now I finally have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah. The opportunity and the money, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, that too.
You know, as a 26-year-old,
Yeah.
you know, you start realizing you're like, oh, I'm starting to get more money now.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe I can travel now.
Exactly.
So, but no, I'm just excited to experience so much different things at once. You know, just something that is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but that's kind of
Mhm.
what I want to do more is get out of the comfort zone so I can see more of what I want in life and what I do like and what I don't like. And I think the one way to really exceed in that is to get out of your comfort zone.
Right,
So
right.
off to Europe I go.
Yeah, off to Europe you go. Hope you have an absolute wonderful time.
Thank you.
But with that being said, Dom, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun, and that went by so quickly. I didn't even realize how much
I
time
know.
I was like, I looked at the time and I was like, oh my God, it's already
Yeah.
that late.
Yeah. So, I mean, but you know, maybe you can take another nap, a longer one this time. Who knows?
Now that like I'm wide awake, I don't see myself going to bed anytime soon.
Until
So
you cuddle the cat, right?
yeah, if Teddy
Yeah.
comes back, then I'll probably head to bed.
Yeah. That's kind of what happens with my cat. If she cuddles me and I start getting comfortable with her,
You're
like
like,
laying on
okay.
my chest or something, it's
Mhm.
like, oh, there I go.
There we go. out with the light.
But yeah. So, but more content to come, I'm
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm
It's
very
kind of
much
slow
looking
right
forward
now
to it.
just because it's
Of course.
you know, not really big into basketball. I mean, hockey, don't get me wrong, but right now it seems like the Red Wings, they kind of took a little bit of a turn. So hopefully they get out of this little stretch that they're having. but football is like where it's at. So I'm excited to post a lot of content with the NFL draft. I'm excited to post the new content with the baseball. So there's a lot of new stuff coming up in it. But I think it's perfect right now that this is kind of like a little bit of a time where I can just breathe and relax and just focus on other things, like my main priorities right now instead of my social media aspect. Because once football comes back up, I always tell everyone, I'm like, I'm so sorry, like you will not see me. Like, well, not saying that, but like I'll be very much like into like the social media aspects of things.
Right. And just for others know before we end it off, what is your tags? Why don't you put out your tags?
So my Instagram is just Dom Spica, so DOMSPICA, and then my TikTok is Detroit Sports Dom.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we end the show. So
Woo-hoo!
thank you once again for coming on. Hopefully we can get you on before the season starts.
Absolutely.
Before maybe even
you let
preseason.
me know, and I will be there.
Yeah, hopefully we can get you on before preseason.
Oh, I would love to. Then we can talk about so much about the new players that we're getting in the draft, any free agents that we get on, and from what hopefully this season's going to come. So I am absolutely down for that.
Absolutely. And I'll have to introduce you to my buddies who have a sports podcast. I'm sure they would love to talk to you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think they've had, because honestly, I don't think they've had a female on there to talk about sports. So they need to up their game.
Ooh, I would love to go on there. That would be so cool. And
awesome.
So let them know that I'm very, very interested. I feel like, are they going to be the ones that are going to be like, can you name 5 players before you come on this podcast? I'll be like, who do you want to know? I'm like, who do you want to know?
I mean, if you can bring that attitude to them, I'm sure they'll be,
they'll be like, wait, no,
you guys start
knows.
recording. yeah. When they start recording, they'll be putting their tail between their legs for sure.
They're gonna start talking about Sam Laporta, and I'll be like, "What do you want to know about him?" I'm like, "I can tell you." So, but no, let's not.
Bring it on, boys.
Bring it on, boys. No, I just love hearing everyone's different opinions. It's the big thing with football is everyone is they have so many different opinions on so many different players. They see so many different stuff, and like it's more like even like number wise and stuff. So it's just interesting overall, the entire game.
Yeah. So, but with that, thank you once again.
Thank you for having me.